So what I was saying about the diner was that there were pictures underneath where I was eating at the counter under glass, and they had pictures. A lot of the buildings in both Cherryfield and Millbridge used to be fishing lodges because the Narragawagus River was it was the biggest draw for Atlantic salmon fishermen in the entire country. Because until the 70s, it along with two or three other main rivers were the last places that you could catch Atlantic salmon, which are some of the biggest fish that go into fresh water, period. You really have to go out into salt water before you're into fish that are bigger than Atlantic salmon. But what they did note was that, with the installation of dams and the lack of upkeep of fish ladders, that the population crashed in the 1970s and has remained at very low levels since. So we're still in Cherryfield, kind of proper, but we're going to be into the town here in just a minute. We have the Ark Animal Shelter coming up. A lot of people around here have more than one way that they are able to generate income. The lady that we were with, that I stayed with, Gail, so she has always run an international summer camp, about a month and a half, and she hires counselors and everything. And then she also has a wreath business, and she does some consulting too, for fiber, for people who grow wool. She knows a lot about how to grow sheep for wool, because I guess she spent a bunch of time in Norway studying that. It's something like the Peace Corps in the 70s. Neat lady. So there's a sign on the right here you passed for the Down East Sunrise Trail, which is one of the main sort of snow roads or snowmobile roads, or kind of like trail. But it's what everybody uses around here for recreation. Okay, here now we're in Cherryfield. Here's a little bridge, and yeah, there's the river. Can we see it? Cherryfield, here we are. Do like this. There it is, the mighty Narragawagus. Classic salmon water, which is to say it's like a larger trout stream. So the salmon live in similar surroundings to trout, but just sort of everything's a little bit larger. Absolutely beautiful river. Looks like we come down to this sort of point down here. Gail, whom I was staying with, mentioned that sort of people have moved up here in waves. She said, there was a movement after World War II of veterans looking for peace and quiet, and then there was sort of a trickle of people who were counterculturalists, kind of in the beatnik era, late 40s into the late 50s. And then she said it kind of died. The movement of new people into this area kind of died down until the late 60s, early 70s with the Back to the Land movement. And then she and her husband moved up here in 82. And they were very much back to the landers. They lived on a no running water, no electricity, no nothing farm for a very long time. And she said, while she loved that, there were sort of other things she wanted to do in life other than clean up after chickens and cows. So look, this is the famous Cable Pool. Ted Williams, Joe DiMaggio, all the great fishermen of Uncle Jim's era would come up here, and it was like a rite of passage that you would stand in line to fish this one pool where all the salmon would hold and you could see them. They were going through